Let's be honest for a moment. You know that split second, the moment his hand starts to drift downwards, when the conversation fades, the air gets a little warmer and his fingers begin their journey south. And in that split second, 100 thoughts can flash through your mind. Am I fresh enough? Did I shave perfectly? I hope I look okay down there. It's a silent panic that almost every woman on earth has felt. We've been taught to worry about that part of ourselves, to see it as something that needs to be perfect, pristine, and almost apologetic. But what if I told you that in that exact moment, while you're caught in a spiral of self-conscious worry, his brain is somewhere else entirely? He isn't judging. He isn't critiquing. He is entering what his primal mind considers the most sacred, intimate, and vulnerable part of you. For him, being allowed to touch you there is not a casual act. It's a privilege. It's a signal of trust so profound that it silences every other thought in his head. What he feels isn't just physical. It's a chemical, psychological, and emotional tidal wave. And it's one of the most addictive experiences a man can have. He doesn't just like it, he craves it. He is magnetically drawn to it for reasons he probably can't even explain himself. But I can. In this video, we are not going to talk about cheap tricks. We are going to pull back the curtain on the male mind and reveal the deep biological and emotional reasons why men truly love touching you down there. We're going to explore why your natural scent is intoxicating to him, why your vulnerability is his biggest turn on, and how his touch is a secret language he uses to say all the things he can't say with words. So get comfortable and let's decode him together. By the end of this journey, that moment of panic will be replaced with a feeling of profound, unshakable power. The hidden meaning behind his touch, the question women rarely ask, you know the feeling, the soft weight of his hand on your skin. The way his fingers can send a shiver through you without a single word being spoken. You've felt his touch in 100 different ways, a gentle caress on your arm, the firm press of his hand on the small of your back, the intimate exploration when the lights are low. We spend so much time experiencing the physical sensation of a man's touch, the warmth, the pressure, the pleasure, that we often forget to ask the most important question of all. It's a question that goes deeper than technique, deeper than desire, and it's a question women rarely think to. We ask, what does he want? We ask, does he find me attractive? We might even ask, is this leading somewhere? But have you ever, in a quiet moment, paused to ask, what is he trying to tell me? Because a man's touch is not just an action. It is a language. It is his most honest and primal form of communication, a silent conversation that begins long before his lips ever part to speak. As women, we are masters of words. We analyze tone, we decode subtext, we search for meaning between the lines of a text message. But we often overlook the dictionary he was born with, the one written on his skin. His hands are his heart's translators, and they often speak the truths he finds too difficult, too vulnerable, or too overwhelming to say out loud. Think of all the times you've wished he would just open up and tell you how he feels. The moments you've craved a deeper emotional connection, a sign that he sees you as more than just a physical being. The irony is that he has likely been telling you these things all along. He's just been using a different language. When he reaches for you in the middle of the night, half asleep, and pulls you closer, his touch isn't just saying, I'm here. It's saying, my subconscious seeks you out as its anchor, its safe harbor. When he gently traces the lines of your face while you're talking, he isn't just being affectionate. He's saying, I'm fascinated by you. I'm trying to memorize the details of the person who captivates me. We have been conditioned to see male touch primarily through the lens of desire and intent. We see it as a means to an end, but that is such a limited, one-dimensional view. It's like listening to a beautiful symphony and only hearing one note. The real music is in the nuance, the texture, the emotional story being told. This journey we're about to take is about learning to hear that music. It's about giving you the ability to translate his silent language. We're going to decode the hidden meaning behind his touch, from the most casual gesture to the most passionate embrace. By the end, you won't just feel his hands on your skin, you will feel his emotions, his intentions, and his heart speaking directly to yours. The physical act will transform into a profound emotional experience because you will finally understand the conversation that has been happening just beneath the surface all this time. So let's begin by learning the first phrases of this beautiful silent language. Touch is communication. If touch is a language, every different type of touch is a different word, a different phrase, loaded with its own unique meaning. Men who are often less practiced in verbalizing their deepest feelings, rely on this language to convey the cornerstones of their affection. When you learn to listen, you'll realize he's communicating three core emotions far more often than you think: protection, admiration, and presence. First, let's talk about protection. Have you ever noticed the way he places his hand on your back as you walk into a crowded room? Or how, during a movie, his arm isn't just around you, but feels like a solid, grounding weight? This isn't just a possessive gesture. This is his instinct to protect made manifest. In his mind, he is creating a subtle, invisible shield around you. His touch says, "You are with me. You are safe. I am your guardian in this space." It's a primal impulse that is deeply ingrained in the masculine psyche. He may not say, "I feel protective of you because you are precious to me," but his hand resting firmly on your body says it for him. It's a quiet promise of security, a physical declaration that he is your ally. Next, there is admiration. This is a softer, more exploratory touch. It's the way his fingers gently brush a strand of hair from your face, or how he slowly traces the curve of your hip. This touch is not rushed. It is not demanding. This is a touch of awe. It's as if he is a curator in a museum marveling at a priceless work of art. He has taken in your details, your textures, your form. He is using his sense of touch to see you in a way his eyes cannot. This gesture says, "You are beautiful to me," not just your face, but all of you. "I am in awe of your existence." When he touches you with this gentle, almost reverent quality, he is worshipping your femininity. He is admiring the reality of you, and it's one of the most sincere compliments he can possibly give. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, his touch communicates presence. In a world of constant distraction, where minds are always somewhere else, a focused touch is a powerful statement. When he puts his phone down, turns to you, and takes your hand, truly feeling its weight and warmth in his, he is saying, "I am here with you right now." This is the lingering touch, the one that doesn't rush toward a goal. It's the hand that rests on your leg while he's driving, or the hug that lasts a few seconds longer than necessary. This touch is a form of active meditation. It pulls him out of the chaos of his own mind and anchors him in the present moment with you. It's his way of shutting out the rest of the world and making you his entire focus. He's not just physically present, he is emotionally present, and his touch is the bridge that brings his whole being into the room with you. Protection, admiration, and presence. These are not small things. They are the pillars of deep emotional connection, and he is speaking them to you every single day, not with his voice, but with the profound and honest language of his hands. The emotional subtext of desire there is a common frustration many women feel, a quiet misunderstanding that can create a subtle distance in a relationship. It's the feeling that for him, everything seems to lead back to the physical. You might share an emotional moment, a deep conversation, and his response is to reach for you, to initiate intimacy. And in your mind, a voice might whisper, "Is that all he thinks about? Does he have to make everything about sex?" It can feel as though he is changing the subject, shifting from a moment of emotional connection to one of simple physical desire. But this is where we must reframe our entire understanding of the male emotional process. For many men, the physical is not a departure from the emotional. The physical is the emotional. They do not experience love, connection, and desire as separate channels. For them, it is all one powerful river flowing in the same direction. When a man feels a surge of love for you, when he feels a wave of profound connection after you've shared something vulnerable, his most natural, instinctive, and sincere response is to express that feeling physically. Words can feel clumsy to him, inadequate to contain the sheer volume of his emotion. He might not have the language to say, "That beautiful thing you just said made me fall in love with you all over again." But his body knows how to say it. His desire to touch you, to hold you, to merge with you, is the physical manifestation of that emotional surge. His desire for your body is a direct extension of his desire for your soul. He's not trying to end the emotional moment. He's trying to elevate it to its highest possible expression. Think of it this way: physicality is his most honest form of poetry. It's how he punctuates his deepest feelings. The touch is the exclamation point at the end of the sentence, "I love you." The desire is the crescendo of the music that is playing in his heart. When you reframe it like this, you begin to see that his physical advances are not a dismissal of your emotional connection, but a testament to its power. The more emotionally connected he feels to you, the more his body will naturally crave to express that connection. So when he reaches for you after a deep talk, he is not cheapening the moment. He is honoring it. He is saying, I feel so close to you right now. Words are not enough. Let me show you. He is saying, I see you. I hear you. And my entire being wants to be closer to you. His touch is his way of trying to dissolve the final inches of separation between you to create a moment of perfect, seamless unity. It is the emotional subtext of his desire. He doesn't just want your body. He wants to feel the closeness that, to him, only that physical union can truly provide. He is reaching for you, all of you, in the most honest way he knows how, understanding the male mind, the biology behind his urge to move beyond the poetry of touch and into the mechanics of the male mind. We have to look at the powerful, invisible forces at play just beneath his skin. His nudge to touch you is not just a fleeting thought or a simple decision. It is a complex biological event, a chemical cascade that profoundly affects his brain and body. Understanding this science doesn't remove the magic, it deepens it, revealing the beautiful and intricate design behind his desire. The story begins with our largest organ, the skin. It is a vast network of nerve endings, constantly sending information back to the brain. When his skin makes contact with yours, it's not just a physical feeling, it's a biological conversation. This contact triggers the release of a powerful hormone called oxytocin. Often nicknamed the cuddle hormone or the bonding hormone, oxytocin is the chemical foundation of trust, empathy, and connection. When you hold hands, when he puts his arm around you, or during any form of affectionate touch, both of your brains get a gentle wash of this incredible chemical. For him, this release reduces stress, lowers his guard, and creates a profound sense of well-being and safety with you. His brain is literally marking you as a source of comfort and security. This is why his touch often feels so grounding and present, because chemically it is. But for men, there's another key player, vasopressin. This hormone works in tandem with oxytocin and is closely linked in the male brain to feelings of partner preference, loyalty, and protective behavior. When he touches you affectionately, the release of vasopressin reinforces a powerful loop. He feels bonded to you, oxytocin, and simultaneously feels a primal urge to protect and provide for you, a vasopressin. His touch is therefore a biological act of both seeking comfort and declaring his devotion. It's his body's way of saying, I am bonded to you, and I will protect this bond. It solidifies you in his mind as his partner, distinct from everyone else in the world. This is not a conscious thought, it's a deep hormonal reality. This creates what we can call a trust cycle. He touches you, which releases bonding hormones in his brain, making him feel safe and connected. This positive feedback makes him want to touch you more to get another dose of that chemical reward. As you reciprocate or respond positively to his touch, his brain learns to associate you with this profound sense of peace and rightness. It's a self-reinforcing loop where intimacy builds trust, and trust deepens the desire for more intimacy. It's the body's brilliant system for building and maintaining strong, monogamous bonds. So when he seems almost magnetically drawn to you, understand that there is a real magnetic force at play. It's not just lust. It's a neurochemical addiction to the sense of peace, connection, and purpose that your presence and your touch provides him. His urge isn't just about seeking a moment of pleasure, it's about seeking a state of being. It's a biological quest for the connection that makes him feel whole, grounded, and fundamentally like a better man. The science doesn't make it less romantic, it reveals a biological truth that is, in its own way, the most romantic story of all, that his very cells are programmed to seek, cherish, and protect the bond he shares with you. The emotional wiring of attraction, one of the most common points of confusion for women, is the mixed signal. He might seem emotionally distant or quiet, not one for long, soul-baring conversations, yet his physical affection is constant and unwavering. You might wonder, how can he not want to talk but always want to touch me? Is the physical separate from the emotional for him? This is where we uncover a fundamental difference in emotional wiring. The myth is that men are driven by lust and women by emotion. The truth is that men are deeply emotional beings. They just process and express those emotions differently. For many men, the emotional and the physical are not two separate experiences. They are intrinsically linked, with the physical often serving as the gateway to the emotional. While a woman might experience an emotion, process it internally, and then choose to express it with words, a man often experiences emotion through his senses first. His emotional connection is built on a foundation of sensory presence. What does that mean? It means his feelings of love and attraction are often triggered and amplified by what he can see, hear, feel, and smell in the present moment. Seeing you smile from across the room isn't just a pleasant sight. For his brain, It's a data point that computes to happiness and connection. The scent of your hair as you lean in isn't just a fragrance. It's a sensory anchor that ties him to the feeling of being with you. And most powerfully, the feeling of your skin against his is not just a physical sensation. It is the most direct and undeniable proof of your connection. He doesn't separate the feeling of your hand in his from the feeling of love in his heart. To him, they are one and the same. The physical act is the emotional experience. This is why, after a long, stressful day, his first instinct might not be to talk about it, but to simply hug you. In that embrace, he is not avoiding the conversation. He is seeking emotional regulation. He is grounding himself in the one thing that feels safe and real to him, his physical connection to you. Your touch soothes his nervous system and communicates a sense of safety that words often fail to provide. This is not a less evolved way of feeling. It is simply a different one. He connects through presence. He falls in love through the sensory details of being with you. The way you laugh, the warmth of your body, the way you fit together. These are the building blocks of his emotional world. He may not have the words to describe the complex tapestry of his feelings for you, but his body knows the truth. His consistent need for your touch, for your physical closeness, is the clearest signal you will ever receive. It is his heart's native tongue. He isn't giving you mixed signals. He is giving you the only signal that to him is entirely clear, honest, and real. The unspoken language of approval in our exploration of his mind. We've focused on his desire for you, but now we must turn to a more hidden, more vulnerable aspect of his touch, his desire for your approval. When a man reaches for you, it is not always an act of pure confidence. More often than not, it is a quiet question. It is a moment of profound vulnerability where he is, in a non-verbal way, laying his ego and his heart on the line, seeking one thing in return: your acceptance. Every time he initiates touch, whether it's a simple caress or a more intimate advance, he is stepping into a space of risk. He is offering a piece of himself, and in that moment, your reaction becomes his reality. Will you lean into his touch, or will you subtly pull away? Will you soften, or will you stiffen? He is acutely aware of these micro responses. Your body's answer is more powerful to him than any words you could ever say. His touch is his way of asking, am I still desirable to you? Are we still connected? Do you still choose me? When you respond with warmth, when you welcome his touch, you are doing more than just reciprocating a physical act. You are giving him the answer he desperately needs to hear. You are validating his place in your life. You are confirming his worth, not just as a man, but as your man. This affirmation is a deep and powerful need, and it is one of the primary drivers behind his physical affection. It is a reassurance that strengthens his confidence and deepens his devotion to you. This creates a beautiful reinforcing cycle, the loop of validation. It begins with his vulnerable act of reaching for you. When you respond positively, his brain receives a powerful hit of reassurance and approval. This makes him feel confident, desired, and emotionally safe. That feeling of safety and confidence, in turn, makes him want to be more affectionate, more giving, and more loving towards you. He feels empowered to be the best version of himself as a partner. As he becomes more loving and present, you, in turn, feel more cherished and desired. This makes you even more open and receptive to his touch, which starts the entire beautiful cycle all over again. It is a system of mutual emotional nourishment. He touches to feel accepted, and in doing so makes you feel desired. You respond to that feeling of being desired, and in doing so make him feel accepted. It's a perfect emotional ecosystem where both partners are continuously building each other up. So the next time you feel his hand seek yours, understand the depth of the question he is asking. He is not just seeking pleasure. He is seeking you. He is seeking your approval, your acceptance, your unspoken permission to be your partner. And in your simple, warm response, you hold the power not only to make him feel desired, but to make him feel worthy, validated, and completely unconditionally loved. The feminine power in response, why your energy changes everything. We have spent a great deal of time decoding his mind, his biology, and the hidden language of his touch. But now we turn the focus back to where the true power has always resided within you. His touch may be the question, but your response is the entire conversation. And that response is not about what you do. It is about the energy you bring to the moment. It is about who you are being. So many women, when intimacy begins, fall into the trap of performance. A list of silent questions begins to scroll through the mind. Am I doing this right? Does he like this? Should I be more vocal, less vocal? Am I sexy enough? This internal monologue of self-critique generates an energy of anxiety. It is a tight, nervous, and disconnected energy And he can feel it. Even if he doesn't know what to call it, it creates a subtle barrier between you, a wall built of worry. He may be touching your body, but he can feel that he hasn't truly reached you. The most profound secret to unlocking deep magnetic attraction has nothing to do with perfecting a technique. It has everything to do with cultivating a calm, receptive, and present energy within yourself. He is not searching for a performer. He is searching for a sanctuary. He is seeking a place where he can finally let down his own armor, and he can only do that if he feels you are at peace within yourself. Your calm is his permission to be vulnerable. This begins with your breath. The next time you feel his touch, before your mind can begin its spiral of questions, simply bring your awareness to your breathing. Take a slow, deep inhale and an even slower exhale. Feel the tension begin to leave your shoulders, your jaw, your stomach. This simple act does something miraculous. It pulls you out of the anxious chatter of your mind and drops you directly into the reality of your body. It anchors you in the present moment. In that state of presence, you are no longer performing. You are simply experiencing. This is the energy he is drawn to. It is an energy of openness, of warmth, of safety. He feels you relax, and it gives his own nervous system the signal to relax. He feels you open, and it gives him the courage to open too. True chemistry is not a spark that just happens. It is a fire that is built when two people feel safe enough to lay down their defenses. Your calm, present energy is the kindling for that fire. You are not just allowing him to touch your body, you are inviting him into your emotional space, and that is a far more intimate and addictive invitation. Forget about being the perfect lover. Strive instead to be the most present one. Let go of the need to impress him and focus on the simple, profound pleasure of being in your own skin. When you give yourself permission to just be, to breathe, to feel, to exist without judgment, you generate a magnetic field of feminine energy. It is an energy that is both soft and powerful, both yielding and confident. It tells him, without a single word, you are safe here, I am safe here, all is well. This is the foundation of true chemistry, and it is a power that you, and only you, can bring to the connection. Your energy doesn't just contribute to the moment, it creates it entirely. The art of slowing down in our fast-paced world. We are conditioned to rush. We rush through meals, we rush through conversations, and often we rush through intimacy. For the overthinker, this rush can be a defense mechanism, a way to get through a moment of vulnerability before the anxiety can fully take hold. There can be an unconscious push to get to the main event, believing that is the goal. But in the world of sensual connection, speed is the enemy of depth. The true art, the secret to creating unforgettable intimacy lies in the power of slowing everything down. When you deliberately slow the pace of an encounter, you are not being passive or hesitant. You are taking control. You are becoming the leader. You are subtly shifting the dynamic from one of reactive desire to one of conscious, deliberate creation. Slowness is not a sign of insecurity. It is the ultimate expression of confidence. It communicates that you are so comfortable in the moment, so certain of the connection that you have no need to rush. You have all the time in the world to savor it. Think about the moment his hand begins to move with purpose. The instinct might be to let him set the pace. But what if instead you gently placed your hand over his, not to stop him, but to join him, to make his motion a shared one? And what if in that shared touch, you slowed his hand down by just 10%? What if you guided him with a slower, more meandering exploration? This simple act sends a powerful psychological signal. It tells him that you are not just a passive recipient of his touch, you are an active participant, a co-creator of the experience. It intrigues him. It breaks his script and makes him wonder, what's next? This is the magic of anticipation. When you slow things down, you create space. You create a delicious tension. Every moment becomes more meaningful because it is not being rushed past. The journey becomes more important than the destination. A slow, deliberate caress that takes a full minute to travel from your hip to your thigh is infinitely more potent than 10 quick strokes. Why? Because it gives your mind and his time to fully register the sensation. It allows the emotional connection to build alongside the physical arousal. It transforms a simple touch into a story. Slowing down also forces presence. It's impossible to be in a hurry and be fully present at the same time. When you guide the encounter into a slower rhythm, you are pulling both of you out of your heads and into your bodies. You can focus on the details, the exact texture of his skin, the warmth of his palm, the change in his breathing as he adjusts to your new, unhurried pace. You create a sensual bubble where the outside world, with all its pressures and distractions, simply melts away. Take the lead in this gentle way. Be the one to hold eye contact for a few extra seconds before a kiss. Be the one whose hands explore his back with a slow, almost lazy confidence. Be the one who breathes deeply and lets the silent stretch filled only with the sound of your shared presence. This is not about playing games or being manipulative. This is about honoring the connection you share. It is about giving it the time and the space it deserves to unfold in its own beautiful, unhurried way. By mastering the art of slowing down, you are not just deepening the pleasure of the moment, you are teaching him how you wish to be touched, how you wish to be valued, and how you wish to be loved. You are leading him gently and confidently into a deeper emotional world. When touch becomes trust for any woman who has known heartbreak, distance, or betrayal, the act of touch can be complicated. To open yourself up to another person's touch is one of the most vulnerable things you can do. The memory of past pain can create an invisible armor, a subconscious hesitation that holds you back from fully surrendering to a moment. Even with a man who is kind and trustworthy, we believe that we need to trust him before we can truly let go. But the deepest truth is that the journey doesn't start with him. It starts with you. Intimacy becomes a truly healing and magnetic experience only when you first learn to trust yourself. What does it mean to trust yourself in this context? It means trusting that your body is a safe place to be. It means trusting your intuition, your feelings, and your boundaries. It is the profound and quiet knowing that you are whole and worthy with or without his touch. It is about reclaiming your own skin as sacred ground, a home that belongs to you first and foremost. This internal safety is the foundation upon which all healthy, passionate intimacy is built. You cannot feel truly safe in his arms until you first feel safe in your own body. This self-trust is the source of your true magnetism. A woman who is comfortable in her own skin, who is at peace with her own body, radiates a confidence that is irresistible. It is not an arrogant confidence, but a deep, quiet self-possession. She is not seeking his touch for validation because she is already validated from within. Instead, she invites his touch as a shared experience, a beautiful addition to a life that is already full. This energy shifts everything. He can feel that he is not there to fix a broken part of you or to fill an empty space. He is there to meet you as an equal, to connect with a woman who is already whole. This is incredibly attractive to a secure, healthy man. It liberates him to be his most authentic self because he knows you are grounded in yours. When you approach touch from this place of inner trust, the experience is transformed. Ceases to be a test of his worthiness or a measure of your desirability. It becomes a form of mutual healing. Your vulnerability, now offered from a place of strength instead of fear, becomes your greatest gift. It invites his emotional depth. When he feels that you trust yourself enough to be truly open with him, it gives him the permission to do the same. He feels safe to reveal the softer, more vulnerable parts of himself. Your touch and your response to his becomes a way of communicating this deep internal security. It says, I am safe within myself, and therefore I can create a safe space for you. It says, I trust myself to know my own worth, and so I can see and honor the worth in you. This is when touch transcends the physical. It becomes a sacred exchange of trust, a quiet promise of mutual respect and emotional care. It becomes the place where two whole people meet not to complete each other, but to share in each other's completeness. The journey to passionate, healing intimacy is an inside job. It begins the moment you decide to come home to yourself. Emotional layers of male desire, the need to be wanted back. There is a pervasive myth about male desire, a quiet assumption that men are the initiators, the pursuers, the ones who simply take what they want. In this story, the woman is a passive gatekeeper, either granting or denying access. This narrative is not only outdated, it is profoundly damaging to true intimacy. It completely misses one of the most fundamental emotional needs of a man, the desperate, unspoken need to feel wanted back. A man does not just want your body, he wants your want. He craves the feeling that your desire for him is as real, as present, and as potent as his is for you. His touch, his advances, his passion, they all feel hollow to him if they are not met with your genuine engagement. He can tell the difference between passive acceptance and active participation. He can feel when you are simply allowing something to happen versus when you are a co-creator in the experience, meeting his energy with your own. This is the principle of mirroring. When he reaches for you with an energy of desire and you meet him with a similar energy, it creates a powerful circuit of mutual attraction. It's like two live wires touching, creating a spark that is brighter and hotter than either could produce on its own. Your engagement is the fuel for his fire. A simple touch from him is one thing, but when he touches you and he feels your hand come up to gently hold his arm, or he hears the soft intake of your breath, his desire doesn't just continue, it amplifies. You are non-verbally communicating. Yes, I am with you. I want this too. This reciprocity is what transforms a physical act into an emotional event for him. Without it, he can feel lonely even in the most intimate of moments. He can feel like he is performing for an audience rather than connecting with a partner. This is why a woman's own desire is her greatest power. When you allow yourself to be an active participant, to initiate a kiss, to be the one whose hand seeks his, to whisper what you want, you are giving him the greatest gift he can receive. You are telling him that he is not just a pursuer, but the object of your own powerful desire. This doesn't mean you have to be aggressive or performative. It's often in the smallest, most subtle gestures that this message is most powerfully conveyed. It's in the way you lean into his touch instead of waiting for it. It's in the way your eyes hold his, filled with your own silent want. It's in the way you allow your own hands the freedom to explore him with the same curiosity he shows you. He doesn't want a passive recipient. He wants a partner. He wants to feel that the fire is burning in both of you. He wants to know that he is not just taking, but that you are freely, enthusiastically giving. When he feels that you want him back, his touch changes. It becomes more confident, more present, more attuned to you. Because now he is no longer just satisfying his own urge. He is on a shared journey with you. And that is the most emotionally fulfilling experience a man can have. His silent insecurities in the theater of intimacy. Men are often cast in the role of the confident protagonist, the one who knows what he wants, the one who is immune to doubt. We see his desire as a powerful, unwavering force. But behind that curtain of perceived confidence lies a landscape of silent insecurities that most women never see and most men would never admit to. The fear of rejection, the anxiety of performance, the quiet worry of not being enough. These are his constant invisible companions. Even in a committed, loving relationship, every time he initiates physical closeness, he is taking an emotional risk. The fear of rejection does not simply disappear after you've become a couple. It just changes shape. It's no longer the fear of being turned down for a date. It's the much more intimate fear of being turned away by the one person whose opinion matters most. It's the fear in the quiet moments when he reaches for you. Will you turn towards him or roll away? Will his touch be met with warmth or with a sigh of exhaustion? These small moments can feel like huge referendums on his desirability to him. Furthermore, there is a profound pressure on men to be the expert in the bedroom. They are expected to know how to please, how to lead, how to perform flawlessly. This creates a silent anxiety. He is constantly wondering, am I doing this right? Is she enjoying this? Am I good enough for her? He is watching your body, listening to your breath, searching for any sign that he is succeeding, that he is making you happy. He fears your silence not because he needs loud performative reactions, but because silence is a void where his insecurities can grow. He worries it means he has failed you. Understanding this vulnerability is the key to becoming his ultimate emotional safe space. When you realize that his confidence is not a given, but a fragile thing that you have the power to nurture, your entire perspective shifts. You are no longer just a partner in intimacy. You are the keeper of his emotional safety. How do you create this safe space? It is built with gentleness. It is built with reassurance. It is built with the grace you give him. When he seems unsure, a soft whisper of "that feels amazing" is more powerful than you can possibly imagine. It is a direct antidote to his deepest fear. When you initiate touch, you are not just expressing your own desire, you are taking the pressure off of him to always be the one to risk rejection. You are telling him, "You are so wanted that I cannot wait for you to ask." When you understand his quiet fear, you can meet it with compassion. You see that his occasional awkwardness is not a sign of incompetence, but a sign of his humanity. You recognize that his need for your response is not ego, but a plea for reassurance. By seeing past the mask of masculine confidence and connecting with the vulnerable man beneath, you do something profound. You give him a place where he can finally lay down his armor. In your arms, he doesn't have to be the perfect, all-knowing lover. He can just be himself. And in that space of complete acceptance, a bond of trust is forged that is deeper and more resilient than any physical act alone could ever create. Turning desire into emotional bond in the beginning of a relationship, desire is often a wildfire. It's exciting, unpredictable, and all-consuming. Touch is about discovery, passion, and the thrill of the new. But for a relationship to last and deepen, that fire must eventually transform. It cannot burn at that intensity forever. It must become something more sustainable, more profound. It must become the warm, steady, and life-giving hearth of an emotional bond. This is the evolution of touch, from fleeting passion to lasting connection. This transformation doesn't happen by accident. It is cultivated through consistency, appreciation, and a shared sense of calm. The touch that builds a long-term bond is not always the passionate, fiery touch of a new romance. More often, it is the quiet, everyday touch. It's the hand that finds yours while you're watching television. It's the hug he gives you from behind while you're making coffee. It's the foot that rests against yours under the covers. These small, consistent acts of affection are the threads that weave the fabric of a deep attachment. They are constant, gentle reminders of the underlying current of love that flows between you, even on the most ordinary of days. The key to turning these moments into a powerful bond is appreciation. When his touch becomes familiar, it can be easy to take for granted. We stop truly feeling it. But if you can meet these simple, everyday gestures with a moment of conscious presence and gratitude, their power is magnified. When he takes your hand, instead of just letting it happen, consciously feel the warmth and strength in his grip. Squeeze back gently. When he gives you that quick hug, allow yourself to lean into it for just one extra second and exhale. This small act of receiving with appreciation tells him, "You are not invisible to me." This connection still matters. This appreciative energy creates a positive feedback loop. When he feels that his small gestures of affection are seen and valued, he is motivated to offer them more frequently. He feels successful in his effort to connect with you. This creates an environment of emotional generosity where both partners feel safe to give and receive affection freely without the pressure of it having to lead somewhere. Touch is no longer just a prelude to sex. It becomes a language of comfort, support, and unwavering presence. This is how desire matures into a deep emotional bond. The initial thrill is replaced by a profound sense of safety. The nervous excitement is replaced by a calming certainty. You know that this person is your home, and their touch is the constant, reassuring proof of that fact. It is a touch that says, no matter what happens in the outside world, in here with you, I am grounded. This is the ultimate goal of intimacy, not just to share moments of passion, but to build a lifetime of connection, one appreciative, calming, and consistent touch at a time. The confidence shift, reclaiming your sensual authority for many women. The idea of being sensual can feel like a role they are supposed to play. It brings to mind images from movies or magazines, a certain look, a certain way of moving, a certain bold attitude. We believe we have to act sensual to be desirable, but this is a fundamental misunderstanding of true feminine power. Real sensuality is not a performance. It is a state of being, and reclaiming your sensual authority begins not with a bold action, but with a quiet decision, the decision to be completely, peacefully, and unapologetically at home in your own body. Confidence and intimacy is not about being loud or aggressive. It is not about knowing 1,000 different techniques. True confidence is ease. It is a profound state of relaxation in your own skin. It's the quiet authority that comes from knowing you are worthy of pleasure exactly as you are in this very moment. It is the absence of the need to prove anything. When you are truly at peace within yourself, you radiate an energy that is far more magnetic than any performance could ever be. Think of it this way: a nervous energy is tight, contracted, and closed. It pushes people away on a subconscious level. A calm, confident energy is relaxed, expansive, and open. It naturally draws people in. When a man feels this ease from you, it is deeply reassuring to him. He doesn't feel the pressure to manage your insecurities or to guess what you want. He simply feels invited into your peaceful presence. Your calm is the ultimate form of magnetism. So how do you cultivate this state of ease? It starts with a shift in your internal focus. Instead of focusing on him, what he's thinking, what he's feeling, if he likes what you're doing, you bring the focus back to yourself. You focus on your own sensations. What does your skin feel like where he is touching you? What does the air feel like on your shoulders? You anchor yourself in the physical reality of your own experience. This simple shift from external validation to internal sensation is the key that unlocks your natural sensual authority. When you are grounded in your own body, you move with a different quality. Your touch becomes more deliberate, not because you are trying to be seductive, because you are genuinely feeling the moment. Your breathing deepens, not as a technique, but as a natural response to being relaxed. You are no longer trying to be sensual, you simply are. This is the authority he is drawn to. It is the quiet power of a woman who is not seeking but allowing, a woman who is not performing but experiencing. He feels this sense of self-possession, and it allows him to relax as well. He feels magnetized by your peace. Reclaiming your sensual authority is not about learning how to please him. It is about giving yourself permission to please yourself, to inhabit your body with a sense of joy and acceptance. And from that place of authentic self-love, an irresistible and a faultless confidence is born. From nervousness to power, every woman has felt it. That flutter of nervousness, the slight awkwardness, the feeling of shyness that can creep in during intimate moments. Our immediate instinct is to fight this feeling, to see it as a flaw. We think, I shouldn't be nervous, I should be confident. This shyness is making me less attractive. We treat our nervousness as an enemy to be conquered. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if that nervous energy, that subtle vulnerability, is not a weakness but a secret strength? What if it is actually a key to creating a deeper, more profound connection? Let's reframe what that nervousness really is. It is not a sign of insecurity. It is a sign of high stakes. It is a sign that this moment matters to you. You feel nervous because you are present, because you care about the connection, because you are emotionally invested. A person who feels nothing feels no nervousness. That flutter in your stomach is the feeling of your senses being wide awake. It is a heightened state of awareness. It is not nervousness, it is sensual awareness. When you reframe it this way, you can begin to work with the feeling instead of against it. Instead of trying to hide your shyness, what if you allowed it to be seen? What if, when you felt that flutter of awkwardness, you took a deep breath, met his eyes, and offered a soft, slightly shy smile? This small act of authentic vulnerability is infinitely more magnetic than any feigned confidence could ever be. Why? Because your vulnerability gives him permission to be vulnerable too. When you present a mask of perfect, unshakable confidence, it can be intimidating. He might feel he has to live up to that same impossible standard. But when you allow him to see your real, human softness, it breaks down the wall between you. It invites him in. It tells him that this is a safe space for imperfection, for realness. Your shyness does not push him away. It draws him closer, triggering his own natural instincts to protect, to reassure, and to connect on a deeper level. Think of your nervousness not as a sign of weakness, but as a sign that your heart is open. It is a beautiful, tender energy. It is the opposite of being cold or closed off. It signals that you are receptive, that you are affected by him. And for a man, knowing he has a positive effect on you is incredibly affirming. Your slight blush, the way you might momentarily look away, these are not signs of awkwardness to him. They are signs of your genuine response to his presence, and that is deeply attractive. So the next time you feel that nervous energy rising, do not fight it. Do not judge it. Instead, breathe into it. Acknowledge it. See it for what it is, a sign that you are alive, present, and open to connection. Let it soften you. Let it make you real. Your authentic vulnerability is not something to be overcome. It is a quiet, potent power that can dissolve barriers, build trust, and create a bond of intimacy that is both deeply emotional and profoundly, beautifully human. The feminine calm that draws him in our culture. We are often taught that seduction is an active, outward pursuit. It's about doing, saying, and performing in a way that captures attention. For many women, this translates into overperforming in their relationships. They feel the need to be constantly entertaining, constantly accommodating, they're constantly striving to be the perfect partner. This creates a subtle but persistent energy of effort, of trying. And while it comes from a loving place, it is ironically the opposite of what creates deep magnetic attraction. The most powerful form of seduction is not action, but stillness. It is the feminine calm that effortlessly draws him in. Imagine a powerful river. Its strength is not in its frantic splashing, but in its deep, steady, and unstoppable flow. This is the nature of calm, feminine energy. It is not passive, it is powerfully present. It is a state of being so grounded in your own worth and so at peace in your own skin that you have nothing to prove. You are not trying to get his attention. You simply become the center of your own peaceful world, and like gravity, that energy naturally pulls him into your orbit. This emotional stillness is a sanctuary for the masculine mind. A man's world is often one of striving, of competition, of problem solving. He is constantly in a state of doing. When he comes into your presence and feels a profound sense of calm, an absence of demand, an absence of anxiety, an absence of the need for him to fix anything, it is like a cool drink of water on a hot day. He can finally put down his sword and shield. He can stop performing. He can just be. Your calm is the ultimate invitation for him to be his most authentic self. This stillness is not about being silent or aloof. It is a rich, warm, and receptive energy. It's the way you can listen with your whole being without planning what you're going to say next. It's the way you can enjoy a moment of silence together without feeling the need to fill it. It's the confidence to simply exist, knowing that your presence alone is enough. When you stop overperforming and instead cultivate this inner peace, he will feel it. He will feel the shift from the anxious energy of am I enough to the calm certainty of I am. He will find himself wanting to be near you more, not because of what you are doing for him, but because of how he feels in your presence. He feels more grounded, more at peace, more himself. This is the ultimate confidence shift. It is the realization that your greatest power lies not in what you do, but in the quality of your being. It is the decision to stop chasing and to start attracting. Cultivate your own inner peace. Tend to your own emotional garden. Create a sanctuary within yourself. That calm, self-possessed, and feminine stillness is the most irresistible force on earth. It is the gravity that will effortlessly and endlessly draw him home to you. Let's take a moment right here at the end of our journey to pause, to breathe, and to reflect not just on what you've learned about him, but on what you've discovered about yourself. You may have come here seeking secrets about the male mind, but the greatest secret you've uncovered is the one that was always waiting within you. Look back at the woman who started this video. Perhaps she was filled with quiet questions, with a subtle nervousness about her own desirability. Perhaps she saw intimacy as a performance, a test she had to pass. She may have felt that her power lay in doing everything right, in being the perfect partner, in anticipating his every need. She was looking for the keys to his heart, that not realizing she was already holding the keys to her own. That is not the woman who is listening to these words now. The woman listening now understands that her greatest power is not in performance, but in presence. She knows that her calm is a superpower, a magnetic force that creates safety and invites true connection. She has learned that her vulnerability is not a weakness to be hidden, but a beautiful strength that dissolves walls and builds bridges of trust. She no longer sees her shy or nervous moments as flaws, but as the tender signs of an open and aware heart. You have discovered that you are the choreographer of your own emotional rhythm. You now know the art of slowing down, of turning a rushed moment into a sacred space of deep, unhurried connection. You have learned that your response, your energy, and your own sense of inner peace are the elements that create the chemistry you've always craved. You are not a passive recipient of his desire. You are the source of the energy that ignites it. Feel that shift within you. It is the evolution from insecurity to self-possession. It is the quiet pride that comes from understanding that you are not a puzzle to be solved, but a universe to be explored. The goal was never to change who you are, but to remember the powerful, radiant, and deeply worthy woman you have always been. You have learned to trust the wisdom of your own body, to honor the language of your own energy, and to reclaim your sensual authority not as an act, but as a natural extension of your own self-worth. This knowledge is not just a collection of ideas, it is a transformation. It is a new way of being. It is a quiet confidence that will now infuse not just your intimate moments, but every area of your life. You have discovered that you are and have always been more than enough, and that realization is the most profound and lasting secret of all. And so we leave this space not with a sense of an ending, but of a new beginning. The journey into understanding intimacy is ultimately a journey back to yourself, to the core of your own power, beauty, and grace. The woman who walks away from this experience is different. The insecurity has been replaced by a quiet certainty. The need for external validation has been replaced by a deep and unwavering sense of inner worth. This is not just confidence, it is radiance. It is the glow that comes from a woman who is fully, unapologetically at home in her own skin. This is the energy that men find truly irresistible. It is the energy that creates legendary love stories. It is the calm, magnetic, and feminine presence that does not need to chase, for it naturally draws all good things to it. You're no longer just a participant in your love life. You are its gentle, powerful, and conscious creator. You hold the brush, you mix the colors, and you have the power to paint a masterpiece of connection, depth, and passion. Embrace this new identity. Walk with the quiet authority of a woman who knows her value is not up for debate. Love with the open heart of a woman who knows her vulnerability is her strength. And connect with the profound presence of a woman who knows that her peace is the most seductive quality she possesses. The world is full of noise and pressure, but you have found your anchor. You have found your calm. You have found your power. And if this journey has opened your eyes, if it has sparked a flicker of recognition in your soul, then I invite you to share this feeling. Think of a friend, a sister, a woman in your life who you know deserves to feel this same sense of confidence and peace. Share this video with her, not just as a collection of tips, but as a gift. A reminder that she too is powerful beyond measure, desirable beyond her wildest dreams, and worthy of a love that honors all of who she is. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Subscribe for more deep dives into the art of connection, and never forget the radiant, magnetic, and incredible woman you are. The world is waiting for you to shine.